Doug, it's always a pleasure speaking with you because whenever I speak to you, I know it's summertime, it's hot dogs, hamburgers, but most important, celebrating this nation because, of course, you go by a certain nickname, my friend. What is that nickname?
Canadian Troubadour.
How does it feel being able to represent this nation through music the way you do, sir?
Oh my God, it's exciting. I get compliments all the time. You bring back some patriotism.
That definitely does. And like I said, we've been doing this now for the last couple of years. I can say that.
Yeah.
And it's always been a pleasure speaking with you because of the way the world has been changing, how we look at Canada, and how we even celebrate Canada Day. And happy Canada Day, by the way, too.
Thank you very much.
Um, how do you look at this country now today, too, especially as we're coming out of the pandemic, even though there's still a pandemic going on?
Yeah.
Things are opening up. We've looked at the world through different lenses these days. And also, we look at Canada Day through different lenses because of all the things that have happened. How do you see it these days through your eyes as the Canadian Troubadour?
Well, we're such a multicultural society, and you don't have to travel any further than your backyard to see the different cultures in everybody's hometown in Canada.
And it's not just that, too, but musically, we do have a Canadian flavor also, don't we?
Oh, we do. It's very unique and it's very talented in Canada. I mean, Canadians have a lot to be proud of when it comes to the music created in Canada and sung in Canada. It's amazing.
How did you become? We've talked about this before, but folks who are being introduced to you now, how did you become the Canadian Troubadour?
Well, I have to thank Stomp and Tom Connors actually for that because it was based on a short little interview that he was doing with a TV reporter. And he was wishing that more singers would bring more Canadian songs to Canada. He was a little upset. Well, you attended the Junos, and he was famous for returning some of his awards, but he was a little upset that so many Canadians thought that they had to go to the US of A to be heard or be famous, and that's not true.
So then, where did it click to you, though, that, again, becoming the Canadian Troubadour? Continue the story, please.
Well, the rest of the story was I said, well, I really wanted to create something that would continue the whole idea of Canadian patriotism. And when I thought about it, I kept hearing stories about Gordon Lightfoot,
Of course.
Anne Murray. I could go on. I mean, there's so many great and you've interviewed Gordon Lightfoot, and it's a big fan of mine. And I kept hearing in these interviews that these people were great troubadours for Canada. And I said, that's a great name. And I said, I wonder if anybody's using it. So I did my homework. I went online, and they were even talking about Stompin' Tom, a great Canadian troubadour, but he wasn't using the name Canadian Troubadour. And I said, well, I did a lot more research before I took it. And once I ensured that nobody had actually been using it as their stage name, I took it.
So here we go. We've got the name, we've got the look, which I love always. But again, it always has to go through the songs and music. So what do you do? What do you look for to reflect your songs with Canada?
Well, I look for music that I like. That's a great start. I have to find music that fits my voice, and I'm very lucky there. And I looked at older songs that haven't been sung in a while, and I said, geez, can I do that one better? Or can I make it with like I took one of Gordon Lightfoot's songs, um, That's What You Get for Loving Me, and we put a Bakersfield twist on it. So I've got a great producer, and he gives me ideas. I listen to other people in my audiences, and they say, you do this one really well. So some of the ideas came from myself, some came from my producer, and some are coming from the audience. They hear my voice and oh my gosh, you could do this one really well. So I take a listen. And then, of course, I've got some things in my own life because a lot of artists write on experience. So I said, what in my life can I sing about? So I wrote a song for my wife. I wrote a song for my daughter. I wrote a cheeky one of Line Dancing Mama for all the people I saw dancing out there in the legions. And I said, I don't think anybody has done a line dancing song. But I like to keep everything upbeat. People see the outfit. Oh, he's country. I'm not. I do country, but I'm adult contemporary, and the new album coming up it's going to actually blow people away.
Okay, don't talk anything about yet. But we'll get a touch on that. Now, if I remember correctly, when you and I first met, it had to do with a single that you had, and it was a video. And if I remember the video, it had the what do you call them again? The guys who fly over, like it had Niagara Falls in it, if I remember, and it had the jets flying, and you had a whole bunch of things in this. And I'm trying to remember which one it was.
That was I Am Canadian.
And if I should even ask what it is about, what was the inspiration? Again, I can't even ask inspiration, but I will ask. What was the inspiration? What was the song about? Like, where did it come from for you?
Well, I was inspired by a CBC video. And I don't know if you recall, but years ago, when we attended the first movie of the day,
yeah,
we would always see a little video, and it was created by CBC. And it was not pictures, but it was video of miners and fishermen and, people going across the prairies. And it was very patriotic. And I said, I want to create something like that gave me, because I always felt great. You'd stand up in the movie theater and you were proud to be Canadian. And I said, that inspired me on two videos.
And if I remember correctly, the last time we spoke, you had released an album, correct?
Yes, I actually released two albums during the pandemic.
What were the two albums, sir?
During the pandemic, we released the Christmas album.
That's right.
And the Maple Leaf Forever.
Okay, let me jump over to the Maple Leaf Forever. What was that one like? Was that what you were talking about, getting songs that, a lot of people haven't really focused on?
Yeah, I should correct it a bit. We actually did the Christmas one just before the pandemic. And then when the pandemic hit, we did two more albums. We did the Maple Leaf Forever. And then we did the Canadian classics, or the folk classics. But the Maple Leaf Forever, that's another one that I put a video that really promotes Canada coast to coast. It's actually the number one song.
What song was that?
The Maple Leaf Forever is my number one song around the world right now.
Congratulations on that. When did this all happen? Like, how did you find out about this?
Well, on Spotify, we get to monitor all the statistics. Mm-hmm. We get to see more data than the public does. So I'm watching country after country and city after city. And just as a hobby, I've been watching it. And now in 79 countries around the world, heading toward 400,000 streams. And the Maple Leaf Forever in 1 year has had almost 5,000 views on YouTube. And the countries around the world, there must be Canadians implanted around the world because they're all listening and watching the video.
I love it. Congratulations on that. Now, I stopped you before, but I'm not going to stop you now. There is something you're doing right now. There's a reason why you got those instruments behind you and the microphone and everything else. You're working on something now too, aren't you?
Yeah, we're working on my fifth album. In less than 4 years, I'm going to have a fifth album out. And I like to do albums instead of singles because I like to create a body of work. When I looked at Gordon Lightfoot, the album after album after album. And I mean, it's good when you state your goals. And my goal is to do an album a year. Yeah, I know it's a bold statement, but so far I'm coming out with a fifth album, which is 10 songs. From 10 countries, and I'm singing in 6 languages.
Okay, you got to at least tell me what the languages are. This is amazing.
All right, we've got English, French, and German, and I speak those languages as well. So I'm fortunate that I can sing in those 3, but we're going to add some new stuff to it. We're going to add Italian, Spanish, and Japanese.
Kind of like the melting pot of Canada, isn't it?
Yeah. And I can name the songs. I'm pretty sure we're running with them if you like, or we can save that for another day.
Yes, let's save that. When do you think this album is going to be coming out?
Well, we're heading into studio in July to do the scratch tracks, and then over the summertime we have all of the local Canadian studio musicians, and I've got, I think, 9 musicians coming in to support me on this album because we need a few extra instruments. And these people are amazing, and they're going to be coming into the studio over a 2-month, 3-month period, and then I'll get back into the studio probably September, October, lay the final track for the vocals.
So does that mean because you're recording right now, there's not a chance that you're going to be touring or doing any shows?
Oh, I'm going to be out there, Canada Day, a couple of days after, and right through parts of the summer. We're headed down east.
Oh, I'm so looking forward to that, my friend. Look, as we're wrapping this interview up, how would you like to see people reflect again on Canada Day? Because so many different meanings these days for it.
Well, if I could ask every Canadian just to do one thing, not 100 things, ask every Canadian to do one thing, I would ask them to do one good deed for somebody else. Just one.
I think that's a great thing, my friend. Look, Doug, always a pleasure speaking with you. Happy Canada Day. Cannot wait to talk to you towards, I guess, the holiday season, Christmas,
Yeah.
to talk about the new album, because I think it'll be a great stocking stuffer. All the best for you throughout this time. And again, we will talk over towards the end of this year, and we'll talk about the new album. Congratulations on that. And
Sounds
again,
great. And I'm
Canada
looking
Day.
forward to meeting you in person. You never know. I just might knock on your door when I get down to Toronto.
Oh, my goodness. It sounds like I'm talking to Santa Claus. Always good talking to you, my friend. You be safe.
Okay. Cheers, Rudy.